Good Saturday morning to you. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martich, and this is your outlook for the weekend, November 15th and 16th, 2014. And we have an area of high pressure to our south today that's going to give us some nice weather in terms of clouds cover. It'll be very chilly though today with temperatures that are going to be on either side of 40 degrees. So still always stuck in the upper 30s here in the northern areas here, but for the most part we're in the 40s or low 40s. And pretty nice day as far as the cloud cover is concerned. We're not going to be dealing with it, so mostly sunny skies today. And then we're going to have an increase in clouds in the very late hours tonight. Now, as the system passing to our north here in association with that, and with high pressure moving off to the east here. So we'll call it increasing clouds tonight, and then we get into mostly cloudy conditions on your Sunday. But I think we're still staying remaining rain-free for your Sunday. So temperatures will moderate slightly, a couple degrees, but remaining mostly cloudy. And then we're going to watch this system here to our southwest that's going to be moving in here, and you can see that all gathering right here, and that's going to be moving up to the northeast here. Now, there was some speculation this was going to be a snowstorm for most areas, and now it's not most areas. Now it's just the far north and northwest areas, especially the northwest areas that are favoring for the snowfall here. But since it is the far northwest areas where it's cold enough, being on the northwest fringe, now you had to deal with, well, you're too far away from it where you're really not going to get into the appreciable accumulations of snow. So it's going to be kind of like a trade-off here. So we're not talking about any major accumulations of snow here, but we do get into some snow. Now here's our idea of what we think is going to be taking place here. You see these areas here in the middle that's shown in the pink here. This is actually starting off as snow and sleet and then going over to rain, so you might get a brief coating in this area here, we think. Then maybe a couple inches of snow up here before going to rain a little bit further north. But down south here, below this line here, you're probably starting off in southeast PA, all the way down to Baltimore, Washington, of course all of Delaware, and central and southern Jersey. You're probably starting off just rain and ending as rain. So those areas there are not, we're not worried about. Just these central areas to start, just for maybe a quick coating of snow and sleet going over to rain, and then maybe a couple inch or two of snow up here in the Poconos before that goes over to rain as well. And we'll show you here the next frame here we're talking about. Here you can see as the low pulls off to the northeast and begins to consolidate, rain now goes over all the way up in the lower Susquehanna Valley, all the way up into the Poconos here. We're up in rain here, of course, all New Jersey and the rest of eastern Pennsylvania and Delaware are also in rain at this point. You can see out here by State College here, kind of on the fringe a little bit. And then far, far northwest up here by Williamsport and places like that, probably stand the best chance of seeing mostly, if not all, snow out of this. But again, it's far enough away from this area, low pressure, and it's not particularly strong, so it won't be dumping a copious amount of snow. So it's one of those, again, one of those catch-22s where you're too far away from it. So then the next frame here, as this pulls away here, we can actually see temperatures crashing behind the front come through here. As this pulls away, it's going to suck the cold air back into it. Winds are going to shift to the northwest and get quite breezy, and you could end actually as a period of snow before it ends, very briefly. We're not looking, back end accumulations don't usually work out too well. But especially with these types of systems, but you could have a little bit of swing in the back end here where it does change at the very end to some snowflakes before it ends here. And this is now looking at Monday evening. So Monday evening you expect that change over to briefly to snow, and then it ends, and that this system pulls out of here. One thing you're going to be dealing with though here as you get into Monday night and Tuesday are these tightly packed isobars here. These are very high winds, so we're expecting very gusty conditions on Tuesday. I mean, it's already going to be cold to begin with. We're talking about temperatures that are going to be, in some places, below freezing for highs, in the northern areas especially here. You could be up below freezing here, just barely above freezing in your central areas, and for the most part, our entire coverage area will be stuck in the 30s that day. And here's a look at Tuesday again. Tight pressure gradient, very breezy conditions here. You're talking about winds that are out of the northwest, 15 to 25 with higher gusts. So you're going to have wind chills that are going to be in the teens, actually, for being out. It's not going to feel like fall at all by the time we get to Tuesday. And I think that holds again on Wednesday, but the winds are going to subside somewhat Here's your winds on Wednesday. You see the isobars aren't as tightly packed here on Wednesday, but we still got more of a westerly component to the winds. So we're not dealing with winds that are going to be too high and those insane wind chills. So the worst day of next week, as far as the temperature is concerned, combined with the wind chill factor, will be on Tuesday. Wednesday, the air temperature is pretty much the same idea here, within a few degrees of that, but still stuck in the 30s in most areas. But at the same time, the winds subside, so you're not dealing with those crazy winds. And then as we get into later in the week here, temperatures will start to moderate as we get into Thursday a little bit. Again, nothing crazy here with moderation, but we're going to have temperatures at least getting back in the 40s for highs, and that looks like it's going to hold until we get into the rest of next week. With another system we'll have to watch, and the weak system from the southwest we'll have to watch in that time frame too. But temperatures will be moderating a little bit back into the 40s for highs, which is still below normal. Normal highs for this time of year are still in the 50s, so we're talking about moderating to the 40s. That's really not saying much. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich, and that is your outlook for the weekend, November 15th and 16th, 2014. Have a great Saturday and Sunday.